A very good morning to you and welcome to Sunday edition of Breakfast Extra, where we unpack the biggest stories shaping Nigeria today. We begin with the emotional rescue and reunion of the 6 kidnapped passengers who were abducted by pirates on April 4th, 2025 in the Niger Delta. Then we turn to Mukwa, Niger State, where devastating floods have claimed lives and displaced hundreds, prompting federal relief efforts. On the economic front, the presidency seeking approval for a 45 trillion naira loan. What does this mean for Nigeria's already strained economy? Analyst Ayotunde Abiodun will break it down for us. And in education, JAMB's mass exam retake and WAEC's midnight testing debacle have sparked outrage. Dr. Joy Issa joins us to explore how to fix the broken system. And we also mark World No Tobacco Day with Dr. Chukwu Betred, who would highlight the health risks and how Nigerians can quit smoking. Plus, the ECOWAS at 50 summit hosted by President Tinubu and the shocking arrest of suspected ritualist Levi Obieze in Lagos. As always, we will bring you all the biggest stories right here for Sunday morning. But first, let's get started on a special guest.
Yes, indeed. A very special morning this morning as we have a special guest, not just to Breakfast Extra, but to Nigeria. I'll tell you who it is. Now, we know Lagos traffic can feel like, a triathlon on its own. So, yeah, we're athletes, every single one of us. But imagine cycling into this chaos from Ibadan, or maybe let's say you used your grandfather's bicycle. And that's not just one stop on the journey, that's just the beginning of thousands of kilometers. And I'm talking about this happened thousands of kilometers ago. Yes, folks, our guest today didn't fly into Nigeria, he didn't drive, he didn't hop a bus, he pedaled his way into Lagos. We'd like you guys to meet Torin-Scott Mecklenborg, a remarkable young man from South Africa who is cycling through the entire African continent. That's right, he's pedaling across Africa.
Interesting.
And I don't mean that as a metaphor, but a very literal pedaling across it, like leg-powered tour of the motherland. I don't know, Judith, what do you think about it?
I mean, he's been traversing cultures, climates and continents as well, and nothing but sheer determination. And that's why we're going to be talking to him here on the show. And a bike with some serious ancestral mileage as well. His ultimate goal is Morocco, by the way. But before his pedals go off again on Monday, we have him right here in the studio with us. Torin, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you here.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations so far. And well done. This is sheer determination, strength, courage, and just resilience. And one has to ask, why a bicycle?
Why did you choose that?
That's a good question. I always loved cycling. I grew up riding with my dad a lot, and so it's always felt like home to me to be on a bicycle, and so that kind of it was natural for me to want to ride a bicycle. And also, if you think about it, a bicycle is a very quiet, kind of slow way to travel, but you can still make a lot of ground. You can still travel at least 100, 150 kilometers in a day, but along the way you get to experience so much. You're really in the elements. You're connected to the people that you meet.
I know what you mean when you say in the elements.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell him?
He's a biker.
I'm a motorist. I'm a motor and I travel across Nigeria on a motorbike.
Across the
well, you're doing it on a bicycle. No less, you're doing it on your grandfather's bicycle.
Yes.
Oh, first of all, you really must trust this bicycle because it was your grandfather's. Why the choice for your grandfather's bicycle? Is there a story there?
Well, the story is actually my grandfather, my dad's dad. He's from America, and he's had a bike shop his whole life. So when my dad grew up, also like me riding with his dad and stuff like that. And anyway, I was visiting, and I went to the bike shop just to visit my granddad and say hi. And I was planning this trip, and I was thinking, I need a bike, but I want a simple, sturdy old bike that I can fix it anywhere along the way. So something that's relatively simple and just reliable. I don't want something fancy.
It's also sentimental, if you ask me.
Exactly.
Yeah, it must be.
And so this bicycle, it was in the shop, just there, and he was like, I had to buy it from him. I will.
You have to buy it. Your own grandpa.
But I'm glad I could support him, and he gave me a good deal. But so I got the bike. It was, I call it Peggy.
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 Peggy. Oh, Peggy. That's nice.
Peggy Sue. And it's like a beautiful purple bicycle, and really.
She's done the distance, hasn't she?
She has.
How far have you ridden currently? And more to that, how many cultures have you crossed? I mean, you had to ride from South Africa. You must have crossed through Namibia.
Yes.
I'm very interested in the DRC, what it was like there with everything that we hear about the DRC, and what it felt like to ride into Nigeria. Tell us about
What's the people like, the food, the culture,
changed from
reception.
country to country, the reception.
No, it's been mind-blowing. So I've ridden nearly 9,000 kilometers.
Wow.
I don't track every day like exactly how far I do. I just kind of estimate based on like Google Maps and other like GPS apps and stuff. But yeah, up to now it's approximately 9,000 kilometers. I've crossed 7 countries.
Wow.
I didn't actually cross the DRC.
Okay.
Because the visa was really difficult. I think at the time when I was there, it was impossible to get a visa. And so what I did was from Angola, there's another part of Angola that's separated by the DRC on the coast. It's called Cabinda. So there's a ferry that goes around. So I went around, and then I went into the Republic of Congo. But you asked about the cultures.
Yes.
And so that was a big thing, a big reason for me to want to do this. I'm fascinated with African philosophy, African culture, and the different indigenous ways of knowing about the world and knowing about each other. I studied philosophy at university,
nice.
and that sparked the interest.
I can see.
I did, my majors were economics and philosophy, and I loved it. But it was all learning in a classroom.
You wanted to reach out and touch all of that philosophy, all of that people, culture,
exactly.
and that's what exactly you're doing. And I find it, I don't know, Julie.
Yeah, it's not only is it fascinating, and not only is it just so much sheer strength, but I have to talk about the toll this must take on your body. 9,000 kilometers.
Every day?
So far, what's it like every single day when you stop? What are you doing to keep up your energies up, just to keep going?
Yeah. No, that's a good question. So I mean, cycling, it does make you strong. So I'm feeling strong.
You think you can take me?
You're a tough biker, man. I don't know.
Yeah. He's a tough. I can't push him like this.
What you were saying, it does make you tough, doesn't it?
But yeah, so I feel like I get stronger. The one thing is getting enough calories in, because you're constantly burning calories, like working. So after a while you lose weight. And so you have to eat so much to just maintain otherwise you go into a calorie deficit. So that's quite tough.
But how do you manage that? Because if you have to eat a lot, noticing that you're crossing through cultures,
different
traditions, foods, how do you know what to eat so you don't get upset?
Unfortunately.
And how many times have you gotten upset?
I have a feeling you have a tough stomach. And you can
now it's tough. It's become tough.
It's become tough.
In the beginning it wasn't.
In the beginning.
There were some times, in Angola, so Namibia is similar to South Africa.
Okay.
I think when I reached the other side of Namibia, I had gained weight.
Oh, wow.
Because
it was regular.
It's regular, but also they have a lot of good meat, venison and good beef, biltong, and the people of Namibia are very generous, and whenever we met people or farmers, they would invite us in and give us, everyone's a hunter, everyone's been hunting. Oh yeah, we just got this oryx, so they'd give us meat and stuff like that. So I ended up, I actually feasted when I was in Namibia, and I got to the other side
well, it prepared you for the rest of Africa.
Yeah, it was good, because then in Angola, the food started to change drastically, and it was really good. But I think a lot of unfamiliar things, also more informal cooking environments where there's other bacteria that.
But isn't that the joy of it? I mean, the risk.
Exactly.
If you don't risk it, you wouldn't enjoy it.
Exactly.
But then other risks also included our security. And with everything that people think about Africa, I'm wondering what the real experience was like when it comes to security for you. How secure did you feel pedaling a bicycle, nothing enveloping you across borders? What was it like for the different countries?
For miles.
So people always ask me, what's the scariest thing that happened? Did you have any bad moments with other people? Did you feel in danger? And I actually have not felt in danger.
You feel more alive instead, don't you?
Yeah. So I think there's like a magical force field when you're riding a bicycle. People open up.
People are good to you.
And even people who maybe would have tried to take advantage of me, they just can't believe it.
They're awed by the journey.
Riding a bicycle from South Africa. They would have tried to scam me if I was in a car, or it would have been a different story maybe. But I think that really helps me. And so in the beginning I was nervous and locking my bicycle every night and bringing my things into my tent and more worried. And then eventually after a while I just would leave everything outside and just. I didn't want to.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, what's the wildest place that you slept at?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay, so in Gabon, I rode. It was this beautiful jungle. It was one of their main roads, but it's super remote and through this massive rainforest. And on the way that day, I actually in that evening I saw an elephant.
Oh wow! I hope you take pictures.
It was in the bush, so I got a small video, but it's not very clear.
Not clear.
And so I've seen 3 elephants, or 4 elephants, but on 3 occasions. But all the times I didn't manage to get a good photo.
Wow.
So you slept in the rainforest.
But anyway, so in this rainforest, I got to this riverside spot that was just next to this huge river, and it was completely remote. And all the locals are when they see me riding past, they're like, "You must be careful of the animals, hey?" And I said, "Yeah." And so anyway, I stepped there. I even had a swim in the river. I didn't even think about the crocodiles, but it was,
I'm absolutely jealous.
That is just brilliant. And
I'm very jealous.
I have to ask, there must be more to just wanting to see the world and seeing the people and the culture in Africa. There must be more to this sheer determination to get to more
the motivation?
Africa. What's the other side of this story?
For me, whenever people ask me, so when I set out, I called it Adventure for Education. I actually had some friends. We went together and we traveled to Gabon together, and then they went home from Gabon. And the whole idea, so I work a lot with kids, and I believe that foundation phase education is one of the most important spaces we have, in growing people and changing the fabric of society. So I love to work with kids, and I'm a yoga teacher, and so I've done training to. It's like a kids yoga thing, but it's basically just like a workshop where you're helping kids get in their bodies.
So you're bringing awareness to this with your cycling?
So I just stop along the way and do I'll volunteer at schools or foundations, or if in a village I'll just offer to the elders of the village, say, "Listen, thank you for hosting me. Just something I'd like to contribute. I do this thing with kids, and they can all come in. It's like an exercise,
So, 2 countries into West Africa. I'm sure that the culture is different and everything. You're heading out from tomorrow. You're heading to Morocco, Northern Africa. What are you expecting to see along the way, and what routes do you intend to take?
So I'm going to be on the coast for most of the way. I'm going to go through Ghana, or Benin, Togo, Ghana. Ivory Coast, up to, then I'm going to go through Guinea. It's quite difficult. The visa thing is a challenge. So if I stuck to the coast, I would have to get 3 extra visas for Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau. So I'm just going to only go through Guinea because it's more affordable for me.
Hassle-free. That must be expensive.
Yeah, the visas have been probably the most expensive thing.
And not just the visas, but also, servicing your bike, care for yourself, food as well. What's it like? Is the funds running out?
It is. It's not unlimited, so I have to be careful. I live off quite a small budget.
Okay.
And sometimes, yesterday I got my bike serviced at this really nice bike shop on Victoria Island called Pit Stop.
Yeah.
And they have this really cool restaurant there, and it's really expensive, but it's got cappuccinos and really nice food that I like.
And you indulged,
stuff that I haven't had in a while. So I had a bit of a treat myself there, and it was amazing.
I know.
But usually I live off like between $5 and $10 a day.
Wow.
That's my budget.
That's
And-
still a lot for some African countries.
and
I mean,
that's the
even
thing.
here in Nigeria, that's quite a sizable budget for a family to live on.
Exactly, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I mean, you would need even more than that because you're traversing an entire continent. So I can imagine buying waters and cappuccinos. That would be expensive. You are ending up in Morocco.
Yes.
I've been to Morocco.
Oh wow.
Absolutely
He
love it.
couldn't wait to get to that point.
No, that's not the part I can't wait to get back to. The fact is, what I can't wait to get back to is the fact that on Thursday I did something quite similar to what you do. For no reason, I jumped on my bike and I just looked for a village on the map in Ogun State. No idea where it was, nobody, and I got there and I was surrounded by village chiefs of whom I had to buy a gift for.
Yes.
But they were so welcoming and I loved the experience, and I said to myself, even if I rode in the rain and back, that I would do it again. So I can exactly imagine and experience what you're experiencing, and I want to do it. I just hope that New Central can sponsor a trip to South Africa on my bike. Putting it out there.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I'm sure
Putting it out
they will. Before we let you go, I mean, I must say, Torin, it's well done. Congratulations so far. The journey has, you've come this far, and this, for sure, you're going to finish strong. But I do have to ask you, how many days did it take for you to get out of each country? You know, just think about it. For each,
it depends on the country and the route that I take, and what my intentions are. Some places, you know, especially when I was traveling with friends, we took our time, you know, we really we went all around and we stayed in places for long, and so it just depends, like, so maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks.
You started this journey how long ago?
In May last year.
In May last year?
Yeah.
So it's over a year now?
Yes.
How long will it take you to get to Morocco?
I don't know.
It could be another year, you think?
Maybe, no, I think now I'm traveling a lot faster than I was before.
Because you're lighter,
because you're
obviously.
lighter.
Yes,
You're no longer in Namibia eating all that biltong.
Exactly.
But Morocco is the final destination because, why is Morocco the final destination?
I think, so it's a really cool, country to tour on a bicycle. It's very beautiful.
Yes.
And it's kind of at the top of Africa. I know it's not at the very top.
Yeah.
If I was thinking to go all the way to the end of Africa, I would look, Tunisia, but it's like close to Europe, and I thought maybe when I get to Morocco, it could be nice to get a boat across to Spain.
Okay.
And travel around Europe. So it was kind of random. It was a bit random, but it's like, let's cycle to Morocco. Let's go. You know, that was the idea.
All this wanderlust, impulsive
I'll give you a
individuals.
little interesting fact about Morocco that I experienced myself.
Yeah.
Not a single obese Moroccan.
Really?
Watch out. Not one. Fantastic diet.
Yeah.
Mostly vegetables
Good,
and
yeah.
fruit and all.
I've heard such good things about the food. It's just
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, Torin, I must say congratulations again.
Thank you.
I know that you finished strong.
Thank you very much.
And we will be following you. So make sure to go follow Torin-Scott. He's on social media. He's been sharing his journey with us. His grandpa's bike has been on this global adventure as he's paddling his way from South Africa, and he's now in Nigeria. He's leaving tomorrow, and he's heading for the big finish, which is Morocco. Once again,
Thank you very much, Torin. Torin.
Yeah, there we go.